Our next question is, what is Aqeedah? What is Aqeedah? Because it's one of the things we've been studying. Aqeedah, we mentioned, the root word of it refers to something that is bound very firmly, something that is tied or bound very firmly, right? Which is the linguistic kind of root of where this word came from. However, the meaning when we're referring to the Islamic context, what we refer to is everything that we believe without a doubt, right? All the things we believe in without a doubt. And the next important question is, what is our source of Aqeedah? Like, if we believe in things, where do we get these things from? What's the evidence? What's the proof? You might hear someone say that to you at some point. What's your evidence for that? And the reality is, whatever we believe is not a baseless belief. We don't just believe anything. We believe very specific things that we're taught. And the reality is, those things that we believe have their sources. The first source is the Quran. Why the Quran? Because the Quran is the word of Allah. It's the speech of Allah. So Allah is teaching us in the Quran and revealing to us different things that we need to believe in. And then we have the Hadith or the Sunnah. I'll just put Hadith. The Hadith, which is the saying statements of the Prophet ﷺ, which are binding on us when the Prophet ﷺ tells us something about the unseen, when he describes for us the Day of Judgment, when he describes for us something that is unseen, that is ghaib, right? Ghaib is the things that we don't see. Then it's binding on us that we believe in that thing. A very important question we need to ask ourselves is, do we have any other source of Aqeedah? The reality is, we don't really have any other source of Aqeedah beyond these two sources. Someone might say, well, I can, reflect on the creation and understand things about Allah by looking at His creation. There is a point in that, but there's a limit to our understanding. And we can't understand the unseen, which includes all the 6 pillars of Iman we mentioned in the Hadith of Jibril. That includes what we believe about in Allah, or the angels, or the prophets, or the books, or the last day or Qadr. Can you understand what the Day of Judgment is going to be like, except if Allah or the Prophet ﷺ described it to you? Right? Do you know anything about the angels, except for what Allah or the Prophet ﷺ described to you? Do you know anything about the previous books that was revealed, except for what Allah or the Prophet ﷺ described to you? Someone might argue, well, okay, in the previous books, the Torah, which was revealed to Musa alayhi salam, maybe we could find some information there. But the reality is that these scriptures that were revealed to Musa, because we believe in the Torah that was revealed to Musa alayhi salam, these scriptures have been corrupted. And so we don't know what's the truth from it and what's made up in it, right? And so therefore we have to go based on what Allah has told us in His Quran and what the Prophet ﷺ has revealed to us through the Hadith. And these are the source of the things that we believe in. Outside of that, when it comes to the unseen, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter who that person is, how smart they are, they can't just come up with these conclusions or these things on their own about the unseen, about these things, except if they have an evidence from the Quran and Sunnah. And that's why it's very important when we learn about our Aqeedah, that we learn our Aqeedah with its evidences and proofs.